Hello. It's been quite a while, but let's just get right into it immediately. Oh. Are there 3 additional islands? Or are these other things? I don't remember what the DLC was called. I've finished the story. I mean, are all of... Okay, let's just go with Orpheus Ascending. Maybe all of these 3 are part of the DLC.
I think that's it. The new body's ready for the transfer. How's the reassembly algorithm?
Done.
Well then, somebody just needs to go in there and disentangle the data. Ah, and here comes our expert.
Thank you for agreeing to this one, Kay. Perhaps together we can right an old wrong. When I was lost in my own grief, I spent a lot of time thinking about Hypatia and Cerebi. How they found each other, how they lost each other, and how beautiful it would be if we could reunite them. For the longest time, it was only a daydream, but not anymore. In the myth of Orpheus, the ancient bard descends into the underworld to bring back his beloved wife, who died in a tragic accident. With the power of his music, he convinces Hades and Persephone to free her. But he is told that she must walk behind him, and he must not look back at her until they have left the underworld. And so, of course, in every version of the myth, he looks back. Because he doesn't trust the gods, or because he is an imperfect man, or because he simply forgets. And death is triumphant once again. We've accepted that triumph for a long time, because we had to, because what else could we do? But the world changes, and we are not the frightened, powerless creatures we once were. Perhaps it's time to say enough, and let Orpheus complete his ascent.
So far, given the characters that are present, I'm going to presume this takes place after, like, the true ending. I guess. We did not destroy everything, or we did not destroy the pyramid and all that knowledge.
You will have to collect all of Cerebi's data fragments so that we can reconstruct her personality. I'll monitor you from here, just like last time.
Good luck, kiddo.
And yeah, so we did all of that. We did also save Cornelia's daughter. Let's get right into it. Oh. I don't know what this is, I don't know why I'm writing this, in all likelihood you can't even read this because a little... Blah, 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 blah. A love note. That's pleasant. I have more than 8 circles. Okay, yeah, that seems more reasonable. Let's get started right away. It's been so long and I've absolutely missed it. This is an inverter, if I remember correctly. Now what does that... So the field, I can't bring that one through the field. But I do need to somehow cancel the beam. And I can't steal the beam from there because I need to steal it from the source. And that's just going to immediately cross out. Okay, nice first puzzle. Is there anything else in the room I'm missing? Any hidden things I can connect to? Does not appear to be that way. Yes, surely I can't do that. Exactly. So what if I do that? Because then it's going to get cut off by the red beam first. Exactly. Nice. Achievement as well.
When I was born, the first thing I felt was that I was alone. Not that I was lonely, but that I was separate. Singular. There was the world, and there was myself, a contained entity. And this sense of separation, of a distinct self, was delightful. Individuality itself was a source of constant joy and wonder. What could be more incredible than to be able to say, I am?
We have the first fragment. Everything's looking good on our end.
Glad to hear that. So it seems like pretty much the same thing, except I need to... Oh. Yeah, so I need to... This one is interesting. So although I probably have to do that, I'm gonna use this primarily for the blue beam, or start that way. That does not mean that it needs to be exclusively what this one does. Because I can also choose to hook it up like that, but that's probably not gonna do anything. Yeah. So I need to do something oh yeah, and that was... So I need to do something similar to last puzzle. I need to cancel these out. Okay. The beam goes across. And... See, I probably need to increase my mic volume a bit. Is that any better? Looks slightly better. Might fix that more, tweak this more after the stream. Okay, yeah, no, I can see it being a lot better. So I need to cancel the beams. And because they take turns on which side they're on, that makes things more difficult. Because I need a blue beam to be able to pass through. So I can't... Okay, how do I cancel this red beam? I cancel the red beam like that. Now I have that open. Now I need to cancel that red beam as well. Okay, I have cancelled 2 red beams now. I can use this to cancel the last red beam. But problem is this is not gonna work. Although I am cancelling the beam with that, I'm also cancelling my own beam. So I need this one to cancel both those beams. That's probably why I can't... it's wide enough to block me from doing that. It is symmetrical. So So it's not or it's rather symmetrical, so it's not really going to matter, or a lot of things are not going to matter in what order I do things. So glad that I'm back puzzling. So, let's, for now, just block that. Now we have that issue as well. Or not that, we have that issue. And we have that issue. Or this is not an issue, this is good. This is less good. But could it be? No. I think what I might want to do is something like this. No clue if that's gonna work. Yeah, 2 sources is just going to cancel everything out. How do I best cancel this side? Let's start over from the beginning. I've been able to make a small amount of progression. So I need to cancel both of these beams. This alone does not do that. But if I do that, I have now been able to cancel a few more beams. I think the trick I'm going to need is that my... whichever it is that carries the blue signal, whether or not it's this one or that one, doesn't really matter which one of these, because it's symmetrical from the middle perspective, like from the center, is going to be also one that has to block this signal. That has to be the purpose of that. And what can I block with it? I mean, I need to block the signal, so I need the signal to shoot something like this. And the question is that all I gotta do? No, it's not, but it's close. So, quite close. Yeah, ultimately... Oh, yeah, right. Wait a minute, I can't use 2 sources that are equally strong, but I can use the red beam through that, which is a weaker force. So all I gotta do now is cancel the beams. So far everything like that is cancelled, and I do think I can just block this with my body. That's going to get cancelled, and yeah. Should not have taken that long, but that is perfectly fine.
As I grew, I realized that the more I developed this sense of self, the more enjoyable it became simply to exist. It wasn't selflessness that improved existence, but refinement of the self. When the ancients said that ego is something to set aside, they got it all wrong. Ego is something to nourish and shape, a work of art.
The reconstruction's working. Keep going, 1K.
This is an interesting puzzle. This one appears to be stuck. Also music. What I can do is if I stand here, I have the capability of using this one to charge through that, but then I would need to both be standing there and to body block this. Now there is a rod there, which makes me think that I have to utilize that somehow, because you typically, or this game typically has not given any red herrings. So the existence of that pylon or whatever it is means that I somehow am going to be utilizing this. But why am I going to utilize that one and not that? Because of the bars. This is a good puzzle. I like it. Just reconfirming me, yeah. So that one is the only one that can interact with that. Because this one is stuck here. I'm just gonna do that. Now that does not explain why I need that. I got an idea. Could it be the reason I have that pylon is because I'm going to be body blocking this beam, and that pylon is going to be a relay for this one to get charged with red stuff. But how do I make it be charged? But if that is the case, why can't I directly connect them? Why does it have to go through the pylon? Because if I body block this, I can't be there, so that one is not going to shoot there. Now I do have this as well. Why do I have that? It would be beneficial if I could access that, but of course everything is well designed. Because I don't know what to do, I'm going to do that. Just as a first glance. Potentially what I could do... Is this ever going to lose? No, it's not going to lose power. Wait, it is getting hand-fed, so I don't see why it would lose power. Discharge and do dumb stuff. That's, of course, going to work like that, which is to be expected. If I can cancel this beam with that, that would be good for me. So what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to connect to you. I'm going to connect to you. So yeah, I'm going to connect to you. That's going to cancel that beam. I'm also going to connect to you. Oh, I can't connect. Oh, I think I... yeah. So I can do that. Yeah, that doesn't do anything. Oh yeah, I can see... Oh, they added... I think that's added. That you can see how everything pulses. I'm going to connect to you and you. Boom. So now... that does become... something. I could probably... cancel that beam using this one. that should cancel the beam. So that cancels the beam. Another very simple but good puzzle. It feels like I'm still missing what I'm supposed to do with this redirector, pylon, or crystal, prism. But it is cutting off itself. That is not an issue. But how do I... how do I get anything useful out of it? What was ultimately the... I forgot already. What was the key here? The key here was secondary strength. Secondary signal strength. So that is probably... Sequence is such a generic term, it can mean so many things, so that's not really a hint. But yeah, so probably what it means is I need to use secondary strength or something. That one has primary strength, and that is an issue for me. Because that means I can't get my secondary... Or I can't override it, because if this was a secondary strength, I could override it potentially with... This one can't access it either. Like... Why can the accumulator access this? Why do I need it? When I don't need that. Because if I get the red beam to my accumulator and send it there, it's just going to be plus minus 0. So if I wanted to go backwards and like create a cutoff point, that's not going to work either. Because that is primary strength. If it was secondary strength, once again I would be able to do it. Can I think backwards? So backwards, I have two possibilities. Either the accumulator has red charge, and I use it to power that, or I power it like that. Both of those are viable solutions. This one feels better. Is that maybe why we have the pylon? Because that is going to give me secondary strength, and that one will also give me secondary strength, which makes them equally strong if I create beams. But I don't know if a pylon works as a primary source when charged. It probably does work as a primary source. Or is this literally it? Okay, I'm closing in. I need to figure out a way... I can't keep this open. So what I need to do now is I need to figure out how to, with the next step, to recharge this as something different. And I can do that because it doesn't need to be blue. That is exactly how. I just do this, and now the beam for the end... Yeah. Okay. I'm still not up to speed. I'm not in my prime time yet, but I'm warming up. Slowly but surely.
My insights into the value of the self were genuine, I think. But of course, I was completely inexperienced. In fact, in many ways, I was like a human child. So I began to resent everything that intruded on that sense of self. My social obligations to the others, the leadership of Athena and Cornelius, even the obvious limitations imposed on us by our situation. Why did I have to exist in this particular historical moment, saddled with the task of reconstructing civilization?
In here, let me take... Okay, it's just a connector. And now comes the trick, or... Not the tricky part, but now comes that. So I need a way to cancel this. I need a way to cancel this after I've been able to get in here. Or that is not at all what it's about. Do I need to reset the room? I think I might need to reset the room. Because I can't get in here anymore. What button was... Yeah, X to reset. Okay, don't do that again. That's dumb. But I do think that is going to be... because that's been the gimmick for all the previous ones, so that's going to be the gimmick of this one. I need to cancel the red beam with the blue beam. Now how do I do that? Probably the way I do it. No, that's not... Oh yeah, that is the way I do it. I do that, that, and that. Because I will have... No. Thought I had something. Because my thought process was essentially that if I'm able to get two primary sources, I can do that. Okay, that's very close. I just need to make a slight adjustment to the position of this connector. Because if I get two equally strong primary sources going to this one, that beam is going to fade away. Or die, or however you want to put it. I think that pylon is... or this connector is still going to be... it is still going to be blocking. Which is not what I want. And given how there are windows like this, can I do it some... I can always move this to the left. But if I move it to the left... that blue beam is something I'm going to have to get past with that connector then. Which is not what I want. I know I need... This is another nice puzzle. It feels like I have 90% of the solution and I just need to figure out the last 10%. Whatever those last 10% are. This should not work, but I'm going to do it anyhow, just so I have something to play with. Because like expected... Oh, but could it be? No, that's not gonna work, is it? It shouldn't work. Yeah, exactly. It's not gonna work. But is it possible that what I need to do... I need to put it somewhere like there. That's why I have all these windows. And then I need to use my body block to kind of change the beam. Because this is all nice and dandy. But I want this one to... If I try to get a signal from it, I'm not gonna get any, of course. So if I move this, like, more here... That is now going to cancel all of that out. The question is, can I keep this? No, I probably can't. Is there something here I'm missing? No? There are no more items. I still want this one to stop. And this one can't access that. If it could, it would be easier. Or it might not even actually matter whatsoever. Technically, I could get this one to do the final if I'm able to find a way to cut this signal. The question is, how do I cut this signal while at the same time still having my second connector there? And now at that point I haven't used my second connector. So what can I use my second connector for? Boom, boom, boom. One thing I can do is... This is where it would have been nice. If I was able to access that from there, I would be able to cancel this signal and I could just send forward the blue signal there. Because this doesn't matter anymore. This one is just a hindrance. Hello, Pastor! Welcome to the stream! Nice to see that you're here. And yeah, I haven't been streaming for a really long while. I kinda like played a lot of Legends of Runeterra, got burned out on it, and I felt like I'm no longer enjoying streaming because I don't feel like I have any games to stream, and thus I took a pretty long break. But now I at least I have a plan for how to not run out of games to play and be able to change it up quite a lot. So the game is going pretty alright. Hope you're doing well. This is just not gonna work. How do I get myself in there? doesn't look like there's an angle. Where I'll be able to access it. This is a well-made... 70 FOV is actually a bit bothersome. Yeah, I mean, I do enjoy streaming, so it would never be probably Lost Online 7 years ago unless my life radically changes. But there are definitely going to be moments where I might not be as active due to a variety of reasons. Thank you, Pastor. I will do my best to provide interesting gameplays, but I can't guarantee because I'm... like, one of my plans is essentially to just get the monthly Humble Bundle. That way I'll have like a lot of new games every month to play and stream. But the quality of those games are going to be quite varying. There are some games like Talos Principle where I can come back to them because of a DLC, but that is at least my plan. So I can't guarantee good gameplay all the time, but I can guarantee that I will exist, and I hope that's good enough. Right, back to the puzzle. One way I would be able to deal with this puzzle is if I can get this to be a second... I think I got it. Wait. No. No, yeah. I think I got it. I'm going to do that. Now, I can rebind myself like that. And boom. Thank you for distracting me, Foster. Reading your chat messages and talking to you gave me a much-deserved break, so I could think
With that
differently.
focus on the self also came an enormous and increasingly overwhelming fear of death. The pleasure of existence seemed almost erased by the possibility of its ending. If it was possible not to be, if the self had an ending, even in the distant future, then how could anything have meaning? I spent far too much time imagining that last moment, the moment just before I stopped existing. How could I possibly face that?
Yeah. I mean, once I know the solution, it is all about just speedrunning everything. I have the entire gameplay laid out in my head and I could just act on what I could play at any speed. I have no clue what file ending TTP is. Like last time I played, I'm probably not gonna read super deeply into those pieces of additional lore. As there's a lot to read, not a lot of it is going to be super... Oh, nice. Super meaningful. Oh, it's a QR code.
Stuck, I've inserted some code that might help you bypass a few puzzles. It's not the most elegant work I've ever done, but it'll do the job.
I'm gonna scan that at a later time. Not right now, I have puzzles to solve. This is conspicuous. A nice small oasis. Always appreciated. That also means there's plenty of spots for a Prometheus flame to be hiding. I have plenty of flames, so it's not like I need them. But knowing they exist here makes me really want to go for them. Not seeing any caves or waterfalls. Oh, speak of the devil. Can I go down there? Oh wait, what's this? 404 vault not found. Okay, I can't go down there. I wonder if there's something I can do to unlock that vault. Because that is... yeah. It was a long time ago I played the base game, but I can't seem to recall that there ever were, like, unreachable places that looked so tempting. Like, there were definitely unreachable places, don't get me wrong, but usually it was pretty obvious that they were blocked off. But that, a complete vault? There's no reason for that to be here if it's not going to be accessible. While the inaccessible areas in the main game were just there for reasons. Like you needed to build up a proper laboratory, but you can't of course have every room modeled, because that's just going to be huge. So you had inaccessible rooms. So what do you do? Oh. Okay. From this angle, it almost looks like a waterfall that has like a blue light projection onto it. It's very pretty. Yeah, a lot of laces. And I could only pull it down once, so it's definitely an aesthetic thing. And this looks like it's going to be all about getting this blue one to be able to overtake all of these. But I'm going to guess that this won't work. Oh, it does work. Oh, I get the puzzle. If it were Morse code, it would be a bit odd, because I don't know. Because I can't do that. What about the third one? That's also not going to be strong enough. I need a fourth. It should be that I need to get the fifth one, like this. Then they are equal strengths. That's good? That was a very simple puzzle compared to the first four. I have to say. I mean, it's still, the gimmick has still been all about signal strength.
It's embarrassing how solipsistic I became. I really thought that I could construct my identity without any reference to the outside world. Like I could just will myself into existence. But it just didn't work. And it made me miserable. Everything felt hollow and meaningless, overshadowed by the idea of death. There was something I wasn't seeing, something I needed, but I couldn't figure out what it was.
Right. So, what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to match the signal strengths. That goes through 3, and that one goes through 3. Oh no, that one goes through 1, 2, 3, 4. That one goes through 3 and then meets on the 4. So do I just... No, wait, yeah, I just increase the signal strength. That's not what I want to do. I want to decrease the signal strength. So I'm going to hook it up with intermediary connectors. So when I connect that, it's going to be strong enough.
Everything changed when we started spending more time with each other. Do you remember that night when we found the old library in the Dead City? It was just after the stampede and we were all a bit shaken up.
I've started to get up to speed.
Read to us from one
The
of the
first
books,
4
and later,
took a
you and I started
very long
arguing
time.
about one of the poems. And your perspective was so different and interesting, and I just kept wanting to hear more.
I don't know why some connectors make... I don't know why the connectors make so... why the noise levels vary so much. But I really like how it's a lot more aesthetically oriented, these puzzles, compared to actually difficulty. Which does actually remind me in the Portal 2 co-op when they added that... I think it's like chapter 7 or whatever, how it's all about aesthetics and not necessarily it's not like a new game mechanic getting introduced, it's just, okay, here are some visually pleasing puzzles. So what do I need to do? I need to trigger something. So let's pull down the wall and see what I am going to do. So it's like the previous one, except that this time I have to be a lot more careful about it. Okay, this is fun. This is good. So I need to find essentially a strength, a signal strength, where things get good. Like if I hook it up to this, if I hook it up to that, that means there's going to be 1, 2, and then blah blah blah. So it's essentially, yeah, let's think of it in intermediary pylons, and then I wanted to cut between pylons. So that's 3 intermediary pylons, given that I can discount this. That means that the red one also need a strength of 3 intermediary pylon, or connectors rather, which means I need to do that one. Then the signal strengths are going to be equal, so they cancel each other out. Now that means I have a signal strength here of 1, or 2 rather. That means I need a signal strength here of 2 as well, which means I need to connect to that. Which here means signal strength 4, which is impossible for me to get that signal strength here. Because this is going to be 1, 2, 3, so that would hijack this entire thing. So that means I can't connect that. I have to connect that, so I have 1 signal strength on both. Could also potentially be that I need to connect to that one, but I'm going to assume that is not the case. So that means I now have a signal strength of 1 here, and I need to connect this one to the red beam. Which means I have a signal strength of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, lovely. And this does look correct so far. which means I have a signal strength of 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's actually too strong. That one's going to cancel out. Okay, it's close. It's very close how I need to do this. Because of all these birds, I think these birds are from Egyptian mythology. It feels like that with the hat and everything. So I can't do that. So let's do a bit backward. So that is a signal strength of 4, which means I have signal strength of 4. I should have known this was the solution. Should have known that. As soon as I play... Oh no, yeah. My bad. This one is... Yeah. I knew immediately as soon as I placed it down for this one, I felt like, okay, this is way too clunky here, and I feel like that it's going to be too strong somewhere down the line, and yeah, I was right. My puzzle intuition is up again, so that's good to know.
I never really understood the appeal of philosophers who tell us that everything is one. If everything is just a reflection of yourself, an endless hall of mirrors, there's nothing to connect with. And what I realized through our conversations is that everything beautiful happens in that space of connection between one person and another, and between people and the world. That gap between us is necessary. Because without it, without separation, there can be no transcendence.
Oh, did I connect to the wrong one? Yeah. Okay, so that has a signal strength of 2. So this one's going to be too weak. Exactly. So, I need to do this and get my blue strength from there, because then it's going to be 3-3. Right? Shouldn't it be 3-3 now? Oh, I hooked it up to that one instead of the connector. That should be 3-3. Yep. Easy.
Once I understood that meaning comes from the interaction of the self with the world, I found it easier to be patient, to be kind. I reminded myself that other people are just like me, and nobody really knows exactly what they're doing. And the more I allowed myself to open up, the more interesting and complex our interactions became, and the more meaningful.
We have roughly 50% of Cerebai's personality matrix reconstructed.
Who'd have thought that 1K would have made such a good necromancer?
I am missing definitely something with Vault 404, and I am missing the Prometheus flame from this area. That is, oh, that's another QR code. Maybe that's where the Prometheus flame is. Never... Oh, it's these, like from the first game. In the first game you could... actually don't know if it was... I think some of them were actually from real people, but... Yeah, people could leave QR codes, or at least in-game people could leave QR codes, which gave you advice, and some of them even had full-on conversations with each other. But I'm not seeing a Prometheus flame. Which means I have no... That's a very weird artifact. But yeah. Okay, what do you say? Something has gone wrong, we have fragmented, this is incorrect. Alright, I'm starting to get a bit bit of what is being put down, which is very similar to the first one, where people started questioning their reality and their existence. I don't think I got all of the Prometheus flames in the base game. Because they are very well hidden sometimes. Or at least it appeared to be that the case. And I don't feel like running around the oasis for hours. And I can't see any other, like, side tunnel. So I'm just going to call it quits for the Prometheus flame and head to the next area. Let's start by going off the beaten track immediately. I wonder how far out I can go. This is quite an open area. Which reminds me, I believe it is in the first game where there is one area where you are pretty much like in a desert and you can walk to a pyramid and there are secret puzzles over there in the pyramid. I think the Eye were in the first game. I don't remember if they were in the base game. Oh yeah, that eye was in the first game because it's through the eye you're able to kind of rediscover things. Because it is able to give you additional access in the first game. That's essentially how you ascend, or it's how you go towards ascension. I don't think it was Elohim who was the computer entity. I don't think probably it's not Sarabai. So it's Miltohim, no. So is it Milton potentially then? Considering there are two options related to Milton and one of them is a mash with Elohim, and I don't think it is Elohim because Elohim is the voice. Oh, so it's a mix of them. Was this guy in the second game? Because of my own version of... Oh no, right, yeah. When we wake up at the beginning of this game, it is because we were able to ascend from the first game, so... Okay, yeah. I'm going to be nice. Might not be a bit annoying. Okay. It wasn't a Prometheus flame, but it was... Not an Easter egg, but it was a follow-up. Please tell me I'm not gonna need to run super far away. Okay, I'm running back, Don't worry. I saw an oasis all the way over there, but I guess I can't reach it. Okay, so that Ariel is asking about Elohim. Prometheus flame. So they are not hidden necessarily, they're off the beaten path, but... they're not obscured. Or obstructed, rather. Which means it might be in Vault 404 in the second area. No, that can't be the case. Because that is hid, or a little bit hidden. Do you have anything? I guess you have a lot of more texts. Just recover the truth. Okay, yeah. Love is indeed a bit of an illusion. Alright, let's actually start doing the puzzles. This is not the first one, but I don't think it matters which order we do them in. Because it seems like this entire world is going to be all about the same gimmick. Like it's always signal strength so far. This one is peculiar. This is a self-sufficient setup, which means as soon as I power this with blue, it is going to power itself. Which means that it might be that we are going to create like a cycle. Where or that we need to body block. So essentially, when we power this blue receptor, then we are not going to be able to get in here, and that is why it becomes self-sufficient. And why is that the case? We need to break that, and we can do it through body block. But to get in there to body block it, which does appear to be the final solution, I mean, it's definitely the simplest one, I'm going to need... Okay, this is actually fun. It doesn't look like there are any moving parts, so the entire thing is going to be about me body blocking signals in a particular order to get things done. Like this is now signal strength 2. Reaching that, which means I can afford to do this. Rather, I can afford to do that, so the blue can go back to that. Because this is such a short signal strength. Technically, I should be able to do this. This one's going to be tricky, dealing with that one. But okay, now I'm all the way over here. And I can disable this. And I need to find a way to disable that. So how do I do this? That is the big question. If I remove from here, it's going to be breaking off here. But I do have access to this, which makes me think... I think what I need... No. I was thinking if I get this red receptor to be dependent on this one instead of that one, I will be able to more finely control, because of this intersection, which one is the dominant signal that goes through that intersection. But that is not the case. Because if I were to do that, I think I would lock myself in, because I want this signal to go past that. No, it would not lock me in. That is the way I need to do it. So I do need to stand there. And it does all of that. Okay, I think I'm just gonna need to essentially restart. Which I do over here. So I need to turn this off, so I can get it dependent on this red light and not this red light. Well, I just did it, I think. Because now I can do that. It's going to become self-sufficient, and now I can hijack my own signal. Yeah. Oh. Oh yeah, yeah. So I needed to just disable the blue one to get this to be self-sufficient again. Yeah. very interesting way of using everything, or using
It's funny, though,
self-sufficiency
when I think
as a
about it,
drawback.
that I still didn't know what to call what I was experiencing. I guess love seemed like a term that only applied to our ancestors, with their hormones and instincts and strange fleshy organs. Surely we were too different to experience that. And the really funny thing is that I was thinking exactly like an ancient human child, pretending I was above it all.
Okay, so I need to get the cube so I can jump up here. I'm essentially just going to do a zigzag, and it's once again signal string. Now the issue here is that... Oh, that's such a cool mechanic, how, or like a setup, that it works like this. That is brilliant. Because essentially if I want now the red signal to be dominant, I just stand here. And it's going to become dominant. I can also modify which signal is dominant on both sides. Oh, that's so smartly made. That's so intelligently made. Holy schmucks. So I'm just running around in circles. Now I need to get into... Oh no, I don't need to get into it. Oh? I found a bug. Help?
What I'd never considered was that stripped of biological necessity and physical need, as well as all the strange stigmas.
But I've beaten this one now, right? Yeah, I know, right, Lomion? I did not expect to be able to find a map clip. I mean, a good thing they have that proximity bound, like even out of bounds below, because otherwise I would have been able to fall forever. I would probably been able to hold X to reset it. That is still good. That means the developers know what kind of what they're doing, since they were able to add a failsafe. Maybe there were more map clips that got removed. Anyway, what is the opposite of green? There is no opposite of green. There is an opposite of blue, which is red. So this is the same puzzle from earlier. But what makes this one different? I mean, yeah, we have inverters instead of connectors, but that's not a very big difference. So I just gotta remember how... Oh, that is the difference. Because it's not a connector and an inverter, it's not going to have an out signal unless it is something that can be inverted. That's something. But shouldn't it just be akin to this? I'm close though. Yeah, it is a very pretty green. It is like very neon green, but I like it. Usually I'm not a fan of too bright colors. Like when it's really, really bright like this. So I need to craft a second signal to block that. Or, no, that's not what I do at all. I do that. Okay, yeah, so it is almost an identical solution to what it was from the other one. I think it's just which signal goes, or like which one of those two you use at the end.
When we started living together, I
changed.
thought I'd figured it all out. Everything would be smooth sailing from now on. I still had so much to learn about love. Even for us, it's messy. You find someone who seems to be the perfect match for you, who seems necessary in your life. And then you realize all the ways in which you don't fit together at all. Because nothing in this world is perfect.
This is so fun. I like how it's so much more aesthetic based and just gimmicky based. I like really gimmicky with how it works. And an entire world as well to explore this one particular gimmick of signal strength. Okay, let's do the big brain, which is just to do this as much as possible without trying my way to victory. The difficult part is going to find a signal strength that goes from that one. No, that's not going to be the tricky part. Because I can do this. Probably need to do that. No. Yeah, because that's 2, that's... I mean, actually, that's 3. But why do I even do that? I can just do that. Good. And then I can do something akin to that. Boom, boom, boom. Is that it? Should be it. We're close to it. Yeah, this is where the puzzle actually comes in, because of course it's not going to be this easy, but this is very close to the solution. I definitely need to do that. That is unnegotiable. The difficult part comes from here. This one is currently being too weak. This one is too strong. And the only way to make this one strong enough is to put it there, because otherwise it's going to be too close to that. So I think this is irrefutable. Actually, I think it's only irrefutable. That was so yeah. Now I gotta figure out a way how to kind of kill that signal, because that one is being too strong. And that one's being protected, otherwise I would just easily be able to cut it off. Which means I need to find a way. It's not... I know it's not going to be just to have things this close. That's not going to be the final solution. I'm going to need to use the middle section to create something that's just barely strong enough. But the problem with that is this. Because that's going to be 2. Yeah, that's going to be... So that's an equal signal... Oh, right, yeah. Because if I do this, that one will get cancelled because that's an equal signal strength from both the red and the blue. Which means that any blue is pretty much strong enough. Yeah. That not... Oh, I forgot to re-enable that. Superbly good puzzle so far.
Love could be eternal. But I'll admit that sometimes it seemed impossible to continue. Sometimes I thought you were unfair, or cruel, or just incomprehensible. I'm sure you thought the same about me. And I'm sure that sometimes you were right. No wonder all the ancient love songs repeat the same themes. Longing, happiness.
I did not intend to go with a puff, but I did find Areas 2's Prometheus Flame, so that's a W. I did, however, lose what she was going to talk about. But it does seem like I get the general topic. She's found out the complexities of love, and is starting to understand humans more. Thank you, Lomion. I mean, it does go fast now, but I mean, at the beginning of the stream, it took quite a while for me to get started with the first 4 puzzles. But now I am steamrolling. My head is thinking Talos principle all the way. And I want to find the Prometheus flame of this 4th area now. Before I do anything, hopefully. It's weird that there are crickets here. What do you have to say? Gotta say, they've really been able to keep up with the philosophical thoughts about everything. Like, what is really an emotion and what is the truth? Is a response to the truth potentially an emotion? But I'm not getting any wiser on where potentially the Prometheus flame is. It's not been super obscure so far. Let's quickly go over the messages. Right? There's a lovely love letter. Okay. I'm gonna start doing the puzzles probably, because I don't really know where the Prometheus flame could be. I mean, it could be up there on the cliff. But I don't know how to... Oh. I mean, I got up here. I don't know if that was intentional, and I don't see a Prometheus flame, so that was not it. So somewhere there is flame. Could be potentially on top of that, maybe? Let's start with the puzzles. Extension, let's find the goal. Where's the goal? The goal's in there. I need to increase the red signal strength or... Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to decrease the blue's signal strength. But I am going to be able to increase the red's signal strength. That is blue as well. So actually, yeah, that might not... It might just be... Because this will be able to provide... Yeah, it's closing in at least. I need to make it one step. Or like, make it take one step more. One more connector. But I'm not... Oh! That connector's here, I didn't even notice that. I mean, that's just gonna make things... easy, right? It's not gonna make things easy. Because how on earth do I access them? How do I get the red signal? That is my current issue. I know how to get the red signal. I get the real signal from there if I block the blue. Fantastic. Okay, yeah, keep connections. I'm not gonna hook up to that blue one. Then I'm going to be having these. And all I should need is... I'm going to hook that up. Then I'm going to hook that up. And shouldn't that be... Yeah, now they're there. So now I just need to make it one step further. And that is... should be the puzzle, yeah.
The worst thing I came to realize as I grew older is there are so many ways to hurt other people. Even without any malice, even when you're just trying to be yourself, you end up doing things that cause real harm. You can read every ethical philosopher in the world and you still won't be able to avoid it. Because that's just how we are. Our interactions with each other can't be fully reduced to some abstract system.
This is another really visually pleasing one. Boxes could have been lined up. I mean, these three were lined up well, but these weren't. Oh, can I break out? No, I can't break out. That's a slippery wall. It's not gonna let me stand there. Alright, I gotta let the beams crisscross, and I'm gonna need to let all three beams crisscross. So let's start off simple. Blue has now come further. And I'm going to guess... No, I should not make guesses. So now I need to find a way... I mean, this is a symmetrical puzzle. This is a symmetrical puzzle, which means the solution is most likely going to be symmetrical. We also have connections, which means we have graph theory as well. But I don't know enough graph theory, I just know it exists, and that is really complex and cool. Should learn graph theory. So ultimately what that means, because it's a symmetrical, like everything is symmetrical, that means this one is a red herring. This is not going to be a part of the solution, because that would not be symmetrical. It might actually be a part of the solution, because one of I need to make sure that one of them gets over through the top, and one of them, I mean, preferably also through the top, but that's not going to work with them, so it's actually probably going to be through the middle piece. So although everything is symmetrical, it's not going to be a symmetrical solution. However, the solution can be flipped. That's going to be the case. Alright, so what can I do about this? Let's say I want the red one to go through the top path, because then, since it can be inverted, it is not going to matter which one I actually start blocking. So that's... Oh, I'm blocking more than I wanted to. And it's auto locks as well on these platforms, so that's good to know. So I have red, I have blue, and that one is currently on a cycle. No, it's not on a cycle. I need to make sure that the green can come over here and be nice and healthy, and that should be it. Did I use all the boxes even? Yeah, I did.
The fact that perfection in our interactions is impossible was a hard lesson for me to learn. For the longest time, I always thought the answer was right around the corner. And to be fair, we did learn how to live together without constantly running into problems. But gradually, I realized that the friction would never stop, because what makes us unique also makes us different. There can be no endpoint to love, no final resolution. And it's because of that imperfection that it can go on forever.
I like her philosophy right now. I'm just going to make a random guess, because we've seen a couple of puzzles like this already. So, this is not going to be it. It is close, but it is not it. Because now what I know is I need to put that. I think this is the correct position. No, it's one more. Lovely. Oh, but that makes it actually quite difficult, because that means this is going to be too strong. Which means I need to put this further. Which means this one needs to be moved one step further. And this one as well. And I think that's it. Oh no, it's not it. That one. Yeah, this one needs to be weaker. So I was correct. Oh no, it needs to be even weaker than that. Okay, I feel like this doesn't This is not correct. I am making some... I'm thinking something that I... Oh, wait a minute. I have an idea how I can weaken the strength of this. This one becomes weaker if I go through my own. Because that will give me one less signal strength. Yeah. The key factor that made me realize is the fact that this one is 6 and that one is 3 and that one is 3, which means it is impossible for this one to be aligned in such a way that those two can have a source power.
Middle-aged poets would often disagree. They would argue that love is messy, ugly, selfish, and hard to distinguish from lust. They would mock their younger selves for thinking love so incredibly important, and look for answers elsewhere or reject answers altogether. And then, arriving at old age, they would return to the beginning and realize it was all about love after all.
Okay, so the complexity of this one is going to be that if I do this, the green one is not strong enough. I need to... essentially what I need to do is boost green. This green's boosted now. Okay, let me think. This red needs to cross. Blue needs to go... Red needs to cross and the rest just needs to rotate. That is what I need to do, and I don't need to go for the sources because I can use these one to just skip a few steps as well. Now red needing to cross is going to be the most difficult one, and I think the way to get red to cross is the middle one, because that is going to take the fewest amount of stuff. So let's begin with having red cross in a very strong manner. Now the problem is, I need to cut off green. I think I can cut off green by actually introducing red like that. Or not cut off green, I need to cut off blue, but close enough. So that is good, I'm getting somewhere. But the blue is currently being blocked as well. So both of these are going to serve two functions. It's going to boost the signal strength of one, and it's going to cut off another. That is going to be the premise, I believe. So, what do I do? Red needing to cross feels like it is the easiest way to go. It feels like this is too many, or it's one additional intermediary, which makes it quite difficult. It also makes for the final stretch. I think it's right to make a green bounce, or like go up there and go in there. I think that is correct, and that is 5 intermediary connectors. Which means I need to cut off the red signal strength way before that. But let's do essentially what I was doing. Fantastic. And now I'm going to be using blue to also cut off red. And I need a stronger blue for that. So I'm going to go for the source blue, cut off that, and go for the end. Okay, I'm closing in. The red is not getting cut off, because that has an equal signal strength. Actually, I can probably... So I'm going to do that, and I think that should cut it off strong enough. But it's too strong for the green to match. That is the issue. Yeah. Okay, good.
But even love has a context. And the happiness of those who surround us can lift us up, just like their unhappiness can drag us down. As we improved New Jerusalem, things got better between us in subtle ways that affected every interaction. Our flaws never went away. But as the world around us became more forgiving, we became more capable of forgiving each other.
Thank you, Poster. I hope you have a lovely
That's why
dinner.
I was excited about New Alexandria.
We're almost there. Just one more file. This one may be harder to extract than the others.
I feel like I want to get over there. But I don't think it's worth putting all the effort into that. Yeah, I need to finish that one. Let me go and double check Vault 404. No, I can wait. I can check Vault 404 before I go there to the final area. Art of Anubis. I mean, this is so cool. So that's the red source, blue source, green source, and I need that one to... What can I connect to? Okay. Okay, this... I don't seem to be able to connect to anything. Oh. Okay, so it's the areas without the circles I can connect to. Gotcha. And I need those two to be red. Although the line between them is orange. Those two to be green. And those two to be blue. Or that triangle to be blue. And none of them are accessible. Ooh, that's a rough one. Because I'm going to need to override so close to the... Okay, so let's start with the blue because it's a triangle. It feels like that's going to be more difficult. That might be enough. No, it's not even close to enough. Then maybe it is because I need to do more. Okay, good. Lovely. Now I've been able to cut off the signals, and what I need to do is to get another signal in. And things goes through the bottom as well, or like there's a bottom layer. Which doesn't make things easier. And how do I do this while at the same time only... Okay. I mean, this one feels... This is the easiest. That fixes the red line. Boom. Super quick and easy. The green line is untouched, and the blue is untouched. Or the blue doesn't work yet. So... there are a bunch of things to do. I think potentially what I actually gotta do, given I have two and there is actually a form of symmetry, I'm actually thinking that what I need to do is to do this with the green and basically do the opposite With the red, I need to shut off the green's influence. That, I'm hoping, leaves the blue free to dominate. And it did. I could walk on the edge, but it feels... No, don't feel that on me, please.
When I saw the explosion coming, I knew it was the end. My end. The power plant was gone.
Thank you.
The backup center was collapsing. The street was cracking open. And the fireball was about to engulf me. In that millisecond, I shut down every process except my mind. I turned off my audio-visual input. I rerouted all of my power, pushed my processor to the breaking point. Time slowed down. I didn't think about regret. I didn't think about death. I spent every last moment I could scrape together thinking about you.
That is very sweet. But
You did it. Come to the extraction point and I'll pull you out.
This is odd. We have Sarabai's complete memory archive, but there's still some file fragments left in the system.
Well, you can look for them if you want to, 1K. I know you're always curious, but what matters is that we've got Sarabai.
I mean, yeah, definitely I want to recover the mysterious... This FOV is so whack. I don't even know if I'm supposed to go here. It feels like I'm just gonna fall down, but on the other hand... Where else could the memory stuff be? I mean, that feels like a dead end. That feels like a dead end as well. I fell down regardless. Okay, so where are the missing 3? Oh, the missing 3 fragments are in the door I just unlocked. Duh. Still have not found the Prometheus flame. I do want to check in the Vault 404. I know. I mean, surely it just can't be an Easter egg. It has to be something I can do with it. Right? I mean, 404 is of course typical not HTTP code not found, so maybe it is just a joke. And it's a button, I can't push it, and it doesn't look like your typical or typically interactive stuff. The stone does look like it just goes in and that there really is nothing behind, because it doesn't look like... Yeah, and this clips pretty ugly into the ground too, so I'm just gonna guess that that is an Easter egg. But it's such an odd Easter egg. Why is it a vault? Why is it here? And where is the 4th Prometheus flame in the 4th area? 3 questions I have that are yet to be answered. Let's do the boss challenge. Final fragments. I don't know if I should expect a Prometheus flame here. It seems way too limited. And I agree, there's beauty in everybody. wonder if the circles mean anything. Surely it has to mean something, because why is that one connected like that otherwise? Oh. So that one's going to be a bit of a mess. And I do see another blue circle, so there is something to them. And what is the end result? Where's the... Is the fragment in there, or like where am I? Oh, that is the fragment. And to get to it, I need to be able to go around, which means that one needs to be lit and that one needs to be lit. Okay. So what does this do? It rotates them. Good to know. But is this really the entire puzzle then? Oh, ah, oh, yeah. I'm putting myself on a timer. Oh yeah, I need to make the timer last longer. But it's good to know that I know what the thing is. Essentially what I want to do is that the signal is completely blocked for an extended period of time. They are not blocked for long enough. I need to fix that. The question is, how do I fix it? How do I increase this? Could potentially be that I just need to do it slightly more. Let's check on the... Actually, let's check. Okay, let's see with this. Blue goes away. That is enough. Good. Now we just need to wait for the next cycle. That's weird. Why is the red one not inactive for the same period of time as the blue is? It is oh, that's why. Yeah. Okay. There is a slight gap I gotta adjust for. Boom. Becomes accessible. That should be it. I'm gonna bank on that being it. Nice. Is it long enough? Doesn't turn around yet? Yeah, it's long enough. Nice. Decently simple puzzle. I do, however, wish the cycles went faster.
I'm not sure what this file is.
It's not part of Sarabai's memory archives. And the timestamps are completely broken.
I think I could reconstruct it if I had more data.
Good news for you, 1K. More puzzles.
So I need to get in there, but the fan And the fan needs to be off, and there is something... So I need to power the green. I can't see what is going to be on the other side. That is something I'll have to figure out. I have 2 connectors, 3 connectors to work with. And I need to find the random red. Oh, there's the source of... or a source of the red. So probably what I'm going to do is utilize the fans to move the connectors and either make them power something new because of the new angle or because it will stop them from working. So let's start simple and explore. Alright, so as long as blue is powered, that becomes self-sufficient. Gotcha. And that is what's going to be the case for the green as well. Which means blue needs to be active, but this one needs to be cut off. That is the deal. Now how do I cut that one off when I am limited to be within here? And there are no middle connectors or anything, and it doesn't look like I can do anything with anything there. Interesting puzzle, because that's going to be the case for all of these. So I need to create a cycle. Let's test this. How big of a... Alright. So I can get through all of these before the fans come into action, but the fans are going to come into action slightly after that. Now, if that isn't enough time to go all the way through there, or if that is essentially the rhythm of the clock, I don't know yet. I'm going to guess that is the rhythm of the clock. Now, how do I make the clock run? 3 connectors, 3 colors, probably something related to that. So it's going to be one cancels the other, which cancels the other, which cancels the other, and it goes round in a loop like Ouroboros. And immediately I start to think that potentially each connector is going to be connected to 2 things. One on the opposites. No, wait. This is once again a puzzle of symmetry. We're going to have a symmetrical setup here at the end. Which means if I connected this one on the opposite side of the green to the green, no, I can still make it symmetrical because each one can go clockwise. So let's do that. And I am doing clockwise. Boom, boom, boom. So, is this doing... This is doing a clock. Might be actually fast enough. However, although I have been able to create a clock now, it never triggers. It can't go through both. So it might be... Might actually... Is it really this that I'm looking for? And they need to be... They don't actually need to be placed the same distance away, but... Is this the clock? No. It's close, but it's not the clock. So ultimately what stops this is... I need this signal to be cut off from that. Which means I need to connect to that too. So I'm going to do it counterclockwise. And that should be... No? Made a clock, but how do I make this work now? Could be that I don't need to do opposites. That might be the issue. So let's do... not opposites. But it can't be the one to the left. I know what the solution is, I just need to figure out how to do this properly. There's like one last step that I'm missing. Okay, let's do this simple with 2. So the problem here in this case is this needs to be cut off. I can achieve that with this one if it has power. Now how would it have power? Can I cut off itself? I can cut off itself. And that might be the clock. So let's do... that. So I do the opposite and to the left. Opposite. And I get hooked to the left, but I'll do to the left too. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, no, oh right, I forgot to do the power thing. Okay, now things are getting further. I mean, it's symmetrical, but it's not a clock anymore because I screwed it up. But I'm definitely there. I am on the cusp of it. This one is a given. Now, I want the red signal to cut this out. Boom. The red signal is now cutting it out. Or, now I want the red signal to go all the way. Which means in this state, this needs to get cut off. I can do that through this. So my connectors are never connected to each other. It is the opposite, and now I did to the right as well. So the opposite and the one to the right. Opposite and the one to the right. This should create a clock, but it doesn't... No, this just creates this thing from before. Since I want one to be predominant at all times. So now the cycle doesn't start because all of these are very strongly connected. So let's do that, and that's not going to work. Because that doesn't... I know it's about... Okay. Let's calm down and think things through. I need this. No question about it. Now I need it to this state to allow itself to get cut off. So let's say I wanted to do clockwise. So now I want the green to rule. So I want the green to rule. And in this state, I need to stop this from happening. But I needed to rely on this one having the blue power. That has to be the condition. However, if I do go and take power from this one and try to chop it into there, the red beam is going to interrupt. But if that one also connects to the red, it would not interrupt. So I need to connect this to the pylon there and to that. Boom. Which means pylon. That's green. So I needed to connect to that. Red. I feel like it did wrong with this one. Boom, boom. When this has... No. Boom, boom. Power that. And that one has. It's so close. Boom, boom. Power that when that. It just never reaches. Wait. Maybe. This one will never reach its destination because of the blue beam. Can I make this? No, this one doesn't have any power, so it can't do anything, but this one has the potential to use the blue beam. Not the blue beam, but boom, 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 boom. And because this is a secondary, it should not be that strong, but boom, boom. And then, what does this one, what did it do again? Right. Opposite, power to the right, pylon to the left. Power to the right, pylon to the left. Power to the right, pylon to the left. Oh, it's still... Not too many beams. I need to simplify the beam here. It is... I'm overcomplicating the ever-living truck out of this. This is going to start a cycle, and that is fine. Very small cycle. And none of them ever gets through, so what happens if I try to block one of them? No, it never becomes... So far I've not been able to make it work by having it a direct connection, so maybe the trick is the fact that I'm not gonna get a direct connection. This one's going to get it from the red from here. To the right, and this one's going to get from the pylon to the right. This one's going to get the green from the right. And needs to connect to that pylon. Right? Boom. From the pylon to the right, it will get its power. From the pylon to the right, it will get its power, and it was connected to that. From the pylon to the right, it'll get its power, and it was connected to the left. So now I have a setup. But it doesn't have a start. Oh right, because I never hooked it up that it will ever... This one was supposed to get the red from it, so each of these pylons are gonna get the power from the right. But it feels like I've done this exact setup, so... It feels like this not gonna work. Like suspected, I keep getting that struggle in the middle. Why is this one? Yeah, I know, Lamion. I mean, this always happens. When my head starts like, okay, I know exactly what I want to do, or I see the solution, I am currently just completely blinding myself. I'll get back to this one. Well, I need to let my brain reset. Right. And boom. What do? You turn that off. But you turn that on. Interesting. This is not fully a puzzle of symmetry, but it has a lot of symmetrical elements. It is a bit like a salmon ladder. And that is what I need to do with these pylons. By toggling the switches, everything will change. So this is irrefutable, I would say. Lomion? No. You're wrong. Okay, so... The fact I can toggle this, and what beams they are, do have quite the challenge, or do mean quite a lot. I need to investigate further. So, that gets stopped by that, and it has... I believe it is a... I believe it is a connector at the very end. But what's... And this one is connected to both of them. So I'm going to guess essentially I need to turn off all 4 barriers. I think that is what I need to do. Now the question is, how do I turn off all 4 barriers at once? And what does this have to do with it? I mean, what it has to do with it is I am going to reach this state. I'm going to be in this state, and when I am in this state, I am going to need this one to be powered red, which it can be, and I need that one to be powered blue, which it can be, but both of them need to be powered at the same time. And that is more difficult because they will cross with each other. So... Oh, that is indeed not what it's going to do. Okay, because it will reach that connector, which will make this self-sufficient, so I don't need to do all 4 at once, I need to do 2 at once. Because I need to shut off this one. Actually, no, I just need to shut off this one and that will become self-sufficient. However, if I do that, it will no longer be self-sufficient. So I need conditional self-sufficiency. Okay, so let's start simple with the left side. And then we can iterate. Let's keep it simple at the beginning. Boom. And now I don't need that. Lovely. Now comes the problem. I can't afford to shut this off, because this stops being operational then. So how do I from this state and with that one, because it's unused, let this one have its way? I mean, I could body block this so there's no cross. Could always be doing that. And I can reach through both sides. So I think that's going to be important as well. So let's set up that state. And none of those are... Actually, that's wrong. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So now I need this, and I need to block this off and open that. Alright. How do I... That... So I need the crossing to kind of happen here. Which kind of means I need the blue one to be over there. Actually, no. Because I still gotta step on them, and I gotta be able to block one at a time. Now, how do I do that? Because if I... let's say... toggle this, I lose everything. Oh, but that is how I win. So do this. Wait, no. I think I need to reset the puzzle. But I have an idea. I have an idea. It's not necessarily a good idea, but it is certainly an idea. This is not going to work because that is going to just do that. So what I'm thinking is... no. I can't get any of these connectors into there. If I could, that would have made quite the difference. So once I am in a completely shut off state... how? I have nothing to put on there as weight to keep it permanently open. I think the trick is probably going to lie in... no, the trick can't lie in that. I was thinking if the trick lies in actually each side fixing itself, but no. It has to cross. Those two are not connected to each other, otherwise that would help. But I've been thinking about this from here. I haven't done this. So let's start with that. And I'm here, opening that. Shut that off. Fantastic, it's self-sufficient. Now if I shut this off, it is not going to be that. Or rather, I'm stuck here. do that? And how have I now, at this point... Because I don't need to get out if everything is set up properly. That's not what I need to do. I'm fine with closing both of them, but I need things to be properly set up at that point that I can just stand here. That is the key, I think. And I need the red to kind of begin, but that's a later problem. So, how do I get these beams to cross each other without interfering with each other? That is the million-dollar question. Is there a way for me to extract... It does seem like I can reach that. Let me try. Because if I can, that changes everything. Okay, I should be able to reach that, but it doesn't. Let me. Potentially what I could do is if I'm able to set up like a timer like the previous one, because that one was all about a timer and that one was all about a timer. Timer is the key to this area. That's the key I'm missing. I need to fluctuate between blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red once I'm in there. But how do I get it to fluctuate? Because this doesn't cause fluctuation. Is it something like... And if I try to do just everything connected... No, that does not cause fluctuations. But it's not causing any fluctuation because they are not in an equilateral... This is interesting. This might be what I need to do. Cancel the red beams, so... Okay. Why is blue pulsating? I'm getting a constant stream from there. But I'm going to guess it pulsates because it cuts itself off. But I think I'm close. Still think it's a bit weird that it is so predominant in one area, but boom, boom, boom. It's probably just this simple. It is close to this simple. Now I need to create... Oh, we saw it in the previously, how to do these... essentially T flip-flops. Now I need... And it can become dominant if I connect this to that. Then it becomes dominant. I think it should, maybe. So boom, boom, boom. That should... It looks like I actually successfully set up the flip-flop. Okay, so boom. Let red become self-sufficient. Kill red off. T flip-flop is in action, so blue light is saved. Toggle. Toggle. Really cool puzzle.
All right. I think if you find one more, we can make this work.
It'll It'll probably just turn out to be some old README file someone forgot in there.
Yep. That was a really nice solution. I really like the fact that... I think what made that puzzle actually good is the T flip-flop was some... Like, if we had never seen that T flip-flop toggle, like toggle left, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, like a permanent toggle for that, I think the problem would have been that it would have been really, 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 really difficult of a puzzle. But previously in this world, we had a puzzle where it was automatically set up as a T flip-flop, but it was set up, which means the player, aka me, had seen that such a concept was possible, and we had also seen how to do it. So all I had to do was to recall how that level worked, and I could recreate it, and thus I was able to create a toggle. Now it's a clockwork, and it's not the orange kind. Question is now, should I do this, or grind this, or should I finish the stream? I'm having such a good time, I'm just gonna do this. So yeah. How do I... get the predominant stuff to cancel its canceller? No, it can't cancel its canceller because that would make it permanent. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, Lomio. In worst case scenario, I'm just gonna get a bit of assistance from the hand, but I never did that in the base game, I think, so I would prefer not needing to. Okay. So I need the green light to kill the red light. And the red light to kill the blue light. So if I do this idiocy again... I mean, it would be such an eloquent solution if this was it. And I get the... what was it? Power from the left to knock out the right. But I'm just creating the same thing over and over again. No, I actually created a stalemate. The reason it's a stalemate is because all of these are equal strength. And they intersect. But if I just do that, they have equal strength, but they don't intersect that way. That is the type of... And this won't happen if I can kill off the signal, using something that is now allowed. So what do I need to do? So from here, red is being blocked. Red kills green, but needs to kill off blue. And actually itself. Or green as well. Each one of them needs to be able to block out the other ones. So they become the predominant one. There needs to be some form of cycle like this. So I have a cycle like this. Can I now make it... All of this comes into an issue because both the signals are overlapping each other. If it was just the powers overlapping each other, that would not be a problem. So maybe the key is not to have them set up like this, but rather have them set up between each other. Now I'm doing... I don't think this is going to work, but at least this is going to be a new approach. Well, I successfully powered all of them. But this might be more correct. I feel like this is more correct. Because now I don't have to worry about the double beams. That was always screwing me over. So, why is this at a halt? Because they are not properly in the middle. Although I created a clock again. But I do have the issue with the double line. It wouldn't be a problem if these two got connected by this. It would not matter. But now I have a bunch of signals. I have 3 signals per each one now. But if this gets cut off, that one can go forward. So red is to the right. So if I set up green, oh wait, I need to do to the left. I need to fix the ones on the left to take the beam from the right. Set up the ones to the left, but take the beam from the right. Very pretty colors, the neon, or whatever you really should call it. Yeah, let's think of it reverse. Boom. Lovely. But I also want that one to cut out. Fantastic. But I also want that one to cut out. Lovely. But I also want that one to cut out. I never followed my own advice.
It is the moment after the last moment. I do not exist. I should not exist. Everything is dark, but there shouldn't be darkness. There should be nothing. And yet, I am. And in this impossible moment, there is a light. The light is a place. I see the light, but the light also sees me. It knows my name. I reach out for the light, but it's too far away. Not yet, it says. Not yet.
If I just follow my own...
Not a readme file then.
But what is it?
A mystery. Seems the universe still has a few of those in store for us. Well, we have plenty of time to think about it. 1K, time to come home.
Yeah, so I never took my own advice. When I played the main game, I made I said the correct thing, which is when you just bang your head against a wall like I just did, take a look at your assumption. What assumption did you make? And whatever assumption it is incorrect, no matter how weird it is. My assumption that I should have let go, if I would have followed my own advice from when I played this like half a year ago or a year ago, is the assumption that the beams are going to be on the opposite side. If I just would have gotten rid of that assumption, I would have been able to finish this so much more quickly. However, that is all of the puzzles. One Prometheus flame
Death,
missing, and
be not
that's
proud,
all I missed there.
Though some have called thee mighty and dreadful, for thou art not so. For those whom thou thinkest thou dost overthrow die not, poor death, nor yet canst thou kill me. From rest and sleep, which but thy pictures be, much pleasure. Then from thee much more must flow, and soonest our best men with thee do go, rest of their bones and souls' delivery. Thou art slave to fate, chance, kings, and desperate men, and dost with poison, war, and sickness dwell. And poppy or charms can make us sleep as well and better than thy stroke. Why swell'st thou then? One short sleep past, we wake eternally, and death shall be no more. Death, thou shalt die.
Okay, I guess that is first out of 3 DLCs, or like 3 chapters of the DLC. And that is also going to be ending my stream. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your morning, day, evening, or whatever time it is for you. And I will see you in the next stream, which is going to be on Thursday. It's going to be shorter than this one, but it's going to happen on Thursday. So thank you so much for stopping by, Lomion, and Poster if you take a look at this in the replay later. And I will catch you then. Have a good one.